Hey, we're finishing our back to school series. And here's a joke. Why didn't the skeleton go to the school dance? You have to wait till the end. I'm going to tell you at the end why. And that'll be really funny. You'll like it. Actually, it's good. So as we finish up this series, this is the last episode in this series. And this is the last question I want you to think about. What do you want to learn? Right? What do you want to learn? When I think about that question, and the reason why I think about that question is because, do you remember The Matrix? So that was a movie back in the day with Keanu Reeves, and he gets plugged into a computer, he puts it in the back of his head, and then he's whips out, and he's like, I know jujitsu. When I watch that, I'm like, oh, I want to have that. I want to learn more languages. Seriously, I would like to learn French. I would like to learn Vietnamese. Hello. I would like to learn Portuguese. I want to learn so many languages. What do you want to learn? I think it's a really good question because when we think of going back to school, we are learning. Now, the fundamentals that we think about in school, reading, writing, arithmetic, the 3 R's, that's sometimes what we think about with school. But when you go back to school, school is so much more than just learning content, reading, writing, arithmetic. And it's also learning people skills. And I would propose to you that when we go back to school, part of our learning isn't just the content, history, math, science, whatever, English, language arts, all that, but we also learn about ourselves, who we are and who we are not. In 1 Timothy 1, verses 5 and 7, Paul says this, but the goal of our instruction is love from a pure heart and a good conscience and a sincere faith. For some men, straying from these things, have turned aside to fruitless discussion. So Paul says the goal of our instruction, what are we trying to teach? What are we trying to learn? What's the goal? What's the outcome that we're aiming for? What's the end goal? And then Paul defines it. He says, instruction is love from a pure heart, a good conscience, and a sincere faith. I think this is one of the most important things that we can think about as we consider following Jesus. John 13:35, Jesus says, people will recognize that you follow me by your love for one another. And this is what Paul is saying. The goal of the instruction is love from a pure heart, a good conscience, and sincere faith. Love is the end game. And letting God love through us, as well as letting God love us. And so when we think about what do we want to learn? And learning in this sense isn't just the information and the self-help books and, kind of illumination in psychology and some of those examples of, you study different religions and different psychologies and different self-help books and, your background and some of those things. Those are all can be somewhat helpful. But at the end of the day, I think we have to really recognize that we are God's son, God's daughter. We're rooted and grounded. It says that in Ephesians 3:17 through 19. We're rooted and grounded in love because that's our core essential identity, is that we are the son, the daughter of God who is love. And I think this is one of the most essential things, that if we could plug ourselves into like the Matrix little thing and we'll zoom in and say, oh, now I know jujitsu, I know. And if we could ever just say, I know love, I know God, and think how transformational that is. If we start to look through the lens of love and see the world around us and look even in our own selves through the lens of love and thinking about what does love say? How does love respond? What is love's core goal in this scenario, in this situation? Love from a pure heart, a sincere faith, a good conscience, a clean conscience. This is the goal. This is the purpose of instruction. And this is why we follow Jesus. Isn't so that I can have, all the cars that I want or a beautiful home or all the wealth. That's all nice and it's fun and it's beneficial and enjoyable. However, following Jesus is about following love. Following Jesus is about letting love make decisions in our lives. And not just the love for people around us, but also letting God love us. And letting that love change the way we think, change the way we talk, change the way we interact, change the way we see ourselves. That love becomes the lens, and lens through which we see ourselves and the world around us. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Hit the notification bell right there. Keep you posted when we put up new content. What do we want to learn? Let our goal of learning be the end goal of loving. Being loved and loving well. So here's the answer to your joke. Why didn't the skeleton go to the school dance? Because he had nobody to go with. Oh my gosh. Start a new episode next week. Thanks again for watching and listening.